Sunset Conversations is a live stream project which based in conversation international art-related people. It is an alternative to superficial IG story content, to build up something with a stronger intellectual value.
th session of Sunset Conversations, and I get surprised that I can still feel that excitement and pressure. That doesn't kill, so I keep doing this. I'm now having a conversation with Jan Edwards. I hope you enjoy the new setting. We're getting outside as the spring is kicking in. Hi, Jan.
Hi, buddy.
Hi, we are two now.
Cool.
How are you?
Yeah, very good. Looks lovely where you are.
Thank you, thank you. We're lucky enough to get the spring days now, and in Sicily they're quite sunny and lovely. I really enjoyed your, the strength that you put before the live session, the lift weight. Is that something you do before each performance?
Always.
Wow. You know what? I really thought I should have done it as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, do some pull-ups on the bars behind you.
Absolutely. I wish I could do it. I'm not that strong. Should train a bit more.
Cool.
Anyway, you're the first sculptor that I'm hosting, so I'm really excited about it. And I have to say, I got lots of other sculptors who requested me to join, but I really appreciated your message, and I felt like you had something to say, like you wanted to express, like you feel this show, and I'm definitely know that you wanted to say something, so go on.
Yeah, no, very keen. I think it's important, what the message is behind the work. Well, for me anyway. And I love to share the message as much as I love to share the work. All of it to me it's just all part of self-expression,
Absolutely.
For me, there's the craft, of creating the work. And then as you develop an ability with that craft, then you can then start to speak through your craft. And then that's when I believe self-expression comes into it through your artwork. At the beginning, it's just like learn your craft, which is cool. I love that part as well. But once you've got some sort of control of it, then you can express yourself through it. Then it's like, that's when music starts to happen,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And of course, I read a little bit about you, and the words that you've written on your blog, on your website, they really express your sculpture. They are sort of written words to express three-dimensional concepts.
Yeah.
And did you write those, by the way?
Yeah. I write a lot, and I write every time for my Instagram page. When I'm putting a post up, I always write. I enjoy it. For me, it's like a sit down, glass of wine, just enjoy myself.
Fantastic.
Yeah, see what starts to flow. Yeah, it's like it's a good time. Yeah.
I really felt you have that confidence that I'm sure you built in the years to put your work out, to show the process, to really engage with your audience, to put your face out there and, speak to your audience. And can you tell me a bit how this all started? Were you always this confident, or you had to work for it?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I'm severely dyslexic. And when I say severely dyslexic, to give you an idea, when I left school at 16, I could only just write my name. And that was on a good day, so for me, if you put pressure on me, I couldn't write my name. If I was relaxed, then it might flow. But when you're 16 years old and you can't write your name, you're never relaxed. You jump around. So the reason why I say that is because in the early years then at school, I was always, everyone's getting A's, doing really well. And me, I was just dropping back further and further and further, in the eyes of academic schoolwork. So I think in that, what I'd done then was I questioned this whole thing of self-image. And I was just like, fuck it, I'm me. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Honestly, right? It's like it got to that point because I failed at everything. I failed at everything. If I listened to,
great.
Yeah, if I listened to, the status quo, I was basically useless, but I knew inside myself, I'm like, I can't be completely useless, surely.
Wow.
So then I went on my own journey.
Fantastic story. Did art help you to break that moment in life?
Yeah, well, it kind of did. Do you know what I fell in love with? I fell in love with the process of creating, of making, being in that state of mind. That's what I fell in love with. Not the actual things, but I was making a drawing because I could never draw. I could never sculpt. I was never very good at any of it, right? I just liked it. And so I went towards that like a magnet because of the state of mind, the piece, I was just going and making it in my own little, like now, I'm in my studio now, my own little space. I love this, it's like, what else would you choose to do? If you can go to this special place. And that was it. And from there, slowly but surely, I built up skills, slowly but surely, got better at what I was doing. And then, do you know what? For years, I actually still, always felt that I wasn't that great at what I was doing. I didn't care. But then over time now, I'm looking around and going, oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I'll go with this. Yeah.
I have to say, I can really understand your feelings, and art helped me as well to really be able to express my real self. And I have to say that life as an artist,
I love
Sorry?
your art. I love your art.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm really proud that you follow me as well, like, honestly. I can feel in your sculpture this sense of, tending to a certain freedom, spiritual freedom that all this twisting women have. I feel that freedom is sort of liberating from a pressure that keeps them somewhere down, and they kind of tend to the absolute. Yeah. Is that something that I can read, or is in you as well?
Yeah, that's it. And for me, this is it. I'm expressing really my own journey, and I see it like this. I have a strong view on life, is that there's only one thing of meaning in your life, and that is the quality of your life. And the quality of your life is a reflection of how fulfilled you are. So then the question is then, where does fulfillment come from? And what I found over, after living a certain amount of years, I started to see that fulfillment comes from being true to yourself, true self-expression, true living, right? Not buying the false gold, not buying the bullshit, The glossy magazine wants to tell you that this is where happiness lives, right? It doesn't, right? It lives in living a life which is akin to who you are, having the opportunity to every day to be creating your overall vision, for me, also creating sculptures, for other projects, just creating and doing it on your terms. This is it. I get it. I want to get to work. I'm excited about this. And it's, it has its stresses, it has its pressures, of course. But so that's what I see. I see that life is about self-expression and finding your highest expression, which brings the greatest amount of fulfillment. Because what else is there? In a minute,
fantastic.
In a minute we're fucking dead. So.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely, and just a last question in regards to personal things, and then I wanted to ask you something about your sculptures. You just said that you basically didn't fucking care about what you were doing and what people thought about your work. which is sort of good when you got talent. Something you can definitely do when you have it. And then you said that at one point you didn't really like your outcomes, but you kept doing it. And now you just said, I'm just looking forward to wake up in the morning and begin sculpting. Did you go through any stage of anxiety where you couldn't really see the next stage in this journey? And perhaps that kind of stopped you from creating?
Oh, no, never stops me from creating, but I get the anxiety where I can't see the next stage, you know? Like now.
Okay.
What's coming next? I don't know. At the moment, I'm playing around, I'm experimenting, I'm looking for a new style at the moment. But yeah, great. There's honestly, at times, I can feel it. I can feel like, oh, you know.
And I'm glad you said something about style, because I guess and I know that your works are handmade. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay. But at the same time, I can feel that you're really embracing the age we're living in, and you're not distant from what digital sculptors are doing. You know, figurative digital sculptors. But you managed to do that without ZBrush, without Cinema 4D, but by hand. Yeah. And I'm really impressed by it. And do you have an opinion regarding digital sculpting?
Yeah, I do. I really like it. I think it's interesting. I think it's another palette. It's another opportunity for expression. I think it's great. Some of it, I look at it and I'm like, wow, absolutely amazing. You know, it's something which I would love to have some time to develop and to get into. I think it just looks crazy good. And what they do, some of them, it's like, I'm just blown away by it, you know?
Wow.
Yeah. But for me,
I love your minded to it, you know, as a traditional hand sculptor. I wouldn't say traditional, but just hand sculptor.
Yeah. And for me, I do love, you know, I've always loved the hands-on as well, the physicality, you know, of actually, you know, picking something up. I like this as well. You know, even the studio space, you know, for me, the sculptor's studio space it's a little rough. It's a little raw. I like that. The fact that, you know, I've got around me big, heavy tools. You know, there's something I like about it. You know, it's like mallets.
I actually saw a video of you cutting a head with a knife, like a kitchen knife, which was a foam board, huge head. I felt, oh my God, I want to do it as well. That sounded very, you know, like venting out stresses and, you know, like thoughts and pains, you know, like killing that phase and actually making it real. Yeah,
exactly. Right. I love that. I love, and sometimes I use maybe not the most appropriate tool, like the big, they were big knives, Bowie knives. And I just like those big knives. I've got loads of them in the studio. You know, I just use them for hacking stuff up with.
Yeah. Fantastic. Is your studio in the UK?
Yes. Yeah. I'm in the UK. I'm based in the southwest of England, in Devon.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a nice area. It's quite a quiet area. There's a lot of art and craft in the area. People tend to come to this area, this part of the world, to retire because of its quiet near the coast. Yeah.
And do you deal with London a lot? Do you go and do exhibitions in London?
Yeah, so I'm in. So we also have a place in London as well. We have a flat in London, me and my partner. Also in London. So last weekend I was in London, and I do have exhibitions. I'm going to be honest. Over the last few years, it dropped right back because social media. I'm selling now most of my work now through social media. Probably 90% of my work gets sold through social media. And maybe I'm a little lazy, you know, in the sense if I don't have to go to London and set it all up. Plus, there's a huge cost risk when you set up a big exhibition in London. It has pressures, but I do like some of that. But I kind of, you know, if I can, I stay in the studio.
No, absolutely. I mean, Devon is really beautiful and relaxing, and compared to London, you know, it's such a paradise. And by the
Yeah,
way, I love London, but, you know,
yeah, yeah,
it's quite
yeah.
a life-consuming place. What's your opinion on the shift from gallery to independent artists that are selling their works on Instagram? I kind of jump in between the two worlds at this stage, but I kind of feel there is a big shift that is happening, and galleries are concerned about it, and artists are quite enjoying it, I have to say. What's your
Yes,
opinion about
yeah,
it?
no, no, I hear what you're saying. It suits me. I do both. You know, I've got work at the moment in Florida. Last season we had work in Mykonos. You know, I have work all over in galleries as well. And then and I have some work on King's Road in a gallery there. So I've got work in London at the moment and around the world. I'm doing that, but I've always been strong for self-promotion, self exhibitions. I used to always do a large exhibition in London, which was at one point was like my main income. And I like this because it puts me in the driving seat. You know, when I don't like this thing where you've got to be chosen by somebody else, because 9 times out of 10 I'm not going to get chosen, right? So what I'll do is I'll choose myself. And what I used to do is put on exhibitions, take a space, bring painters in as well, and organize all of it, and then sell the work that way. And then build your own mailing list, your own clientele.
Yeah.
What's happened now is the shift. I mean, I've gone on to with social media, and I was slow coming to this with social media as to others. But you know, you start to build a mailing list then for your social media, and every day people build up trust with you. They get to see what you're really like. You know, it's not all of a sudden you just do the artwork. They get to know me, and I think for you know, it must be the same for yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, they're buying a piece of you. You know, they're wanting, they believe in you to one degree or another. You know.
Absolutely. There is a definite connection between the client and the artist compared to the client and the art shop, which is the gallery. Of course, when I speak to gallerists, and I had some in my show, they kind of point out that gallerists had an important role on filtering art, while social media doesn't have filter. I mean, it's more like people decide what's a good art. It's not an art critic. It's not someone who studied art, but that doesn't mean it's wrong or right. I think we just need to embrace changes, and especially when they're not harmful to creativity, I have to say. I guess what really harms our job is the contemporary art market and the bubble, economical bubble that sometimes happened, and they're really killing, you know, the life of creatives. But I'm totally agree with you, and we're feeling it, we're seeing it, and we're experiencing it as artists. And to be honest, it's really exciting to have this direct feedbacks straight away. You know, your audience tells you what they think about your job, and it gives you energy and power to continue. They give you strength and hope to not stop, and they kind of change your life. I have to say, it really changed my life. Did it change your life as well?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It does. And you know what? I think at times the whatever you want to call it, your Insta fans, Insta followers, whatever, right? Your social media followers, they play a bigger role than they realize. You know, it's a two-way street. Because if no one likes your stuff, or no one likes what you're doing, and then some really like what you're doing and become, you know, they're following you, and their comments really mean something to me then. You know, there is this real play backwards and forwards. So, you know, it's changed the way I do, you know, the business side of what I call, you know, the art side. It really has changed that. And the galleries too. You know, the galleries which I'm with, which a lot of the international galleries have come through social media. Where else would have they found me? Normally you get found at an exhibition. You know, you go off to an international exhibition, and then you get picked up by other galleries this way. But now I just get messaged. It's crazy what comes through, you know, and how confident people are to buy and spend large amounts of money on pieces they've never physically seen.
Yeah, absolutely right, Ian. And I really love your positivity, to be honest. Just sending it to me, I feel it. We got to an end, but I want to give you an extra minute to send a message to the listeners and the future listeners that are going to see this conversation. And because you really, you know, you had this troubled moment in life when you got refused, you said, but then you found your real self, and after that point, you really managed to be. So just send like a 30 seconds message to the people and to kind of move the sensibility and comfort.
Sure. So it's simple for me. It's this is the message. Put small is that find what you like, find what you're naturally drawn to, not what somebody else is telling you, but what you feel yourself, what you're naturally drawn to, and then dedicate yourself to that. And in that dedication, there's a fulfillment through your craft, through building it, and then from there, many doors will open. You can't see what's going to open before you go to see, but you've got to go to see for it to open up. You really have. Just got to go for it.
Great. Fantastic, Ian. And you really taught me a lot. And the most important thing is to do push-ups before live streams. All right. I hope to see you in your studio at some point.
Brilliant. That'd be lovely.
Bye-bye.
You're always welcome. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Take care, mate.